Hey, hello guys, welcome to this video. This video is going to be a very simple video where I'm going to bind data to this drop-down control from the backend API. Okay, so we have a application for parking management system, have created some routes here. Okay, so I'm going to call this route a REST API, which will call this controller functions in the backend and execute this mongoose function for us and return us the data, and we are going to capture the data and bind that to this dropdown. Okay, so in this video you will see how to call a backend API from the jQuery, okay, with the help of Axios, and how to bind the values to the dropdown. Right, so let me go to the code. I'm going to the front end. I have register.js. So here I'm going to check what are the fields that exist in the front end. So we have first name, last name, mobile, password, confirm password, and register as roles. Okay, I'm going to grab the IDs of each control. So the first control is input first name. So before that, I'm going to declare the variables. Variables will be used in our application to store the values that we process in the front end. Okay, not only the front end, the back end also, but here the variables will store the values that we get from the front end. And let password is going to be a string, and let confirm password is also going to be a string, and let role, okay, I'm going to say DDL role. Since it is a drop down, it is going to be DDL role. The naming is your wish, can be of anything. Okay, and I'm going to have a document.ready function, so which is nothing but a page load event that occurs in the web page. Okay, so function, so this is a document.ready syntax. Here I'm going to assign each variable with the DOM element. We know the DOM, so to keep it simple, the HTML that is formed in the browser is the DOM. Okay, DOM will be the tree-like structure. So I'm going to copy the IDs of each element and assign it to the variables, corresponding variables. Okay, so the first name is going to be input first name, and last name is equal to and the DDL role variable is going to hold this DOM. Okay, perfect. We did everything. So now I'm going to call the API. Okay, so before that, I'm going to explain you how we have returned the Axios call functions in our application. Okay, I have a folder called common folder in which I have written a API.js. Okay, so in this I have written a separate functions for get, insert, update, and delete. In get API, with the help of Axios, I'm going to get, and it has the full URL as a parameter. If you take insert API, it is going to have a Axios post, and the parameter is going to be backend URL and JSON data. And update API is similar to post, but the action is going to be put, right? And the parameters are going to be same. And delete API is Axios.delete, and the URL alone will send. Okay, so this API.js is added as a source, see, as a reference to this register.js, register.html page, right? It means I can access this API.js file and call the functions that have returned in API.js from the register.html page. Okay, So below this, we have this register.jscript in which we have returned this, and from here we are going to call the get API function from the API.js. Since we have added register.js below API.js, so this can have full control over this file. It means we can call any functions from API.js from the register.js file. Okay, so I'm going to show you now. Get API. See, I'm able to call it. So the URL is going to be our backend URL. Our backend application is running on port 5000. Okay, so it is going to be localhost 5000 / I go to the postman, and the URL is going to be pms/v1/roles. So I'm going to copy paste here. Okay. So guys, I'll go to the backend application. Here in the app.js, I have mentioned whenever this backend gets the URL request like this, pms/v1/roles, along with this port number and the server name, right? It will be redirected to this roles route, which we have defined in the upper part require, right? So this roles is nothing but the routes that we have written here, right? So since we are going to call a get request, it will identify this controller function and execute the controller logic that we have written in roles. So it is going to execute this roles.find, which is nothing but select star from table name equivalent to SQL. Okay, so once this gets executed, since it is an asynchronous operation, this gets executed and the data that we store here in this variable is sent as a response as data, right? And that is, we are going to capture it here and bind it to the drop down that we have in the front end. Okay, so how we are going to do it is a part that we are going to see in this video. So I'm going to say then what we are going to get as a response is roles, right? So the dynamic variable is going to be roles, and inside it I'm going to use $.each, which is a jQuery each function, which is going to iterate roles.data. So as I have explained you few seconds back, right? So we'll get data as a response from the backend. So we'll get this data which will hold roles as a response from the backend, right? So I'm going to iterate this, and we are going to set that value to the drop down. Here you see index, we are going to get two values, which is index and role, right? So I'm going to say ddl role.append of, inside it is going to have option value equal to double quote single, okay, plus plus single double, and close the brace here and go outer plus plus, close the option tag. Okay, we all know inside the drop down we will have options, and inside it I'm going to say role dot underscore id, and this is going to hold role dot role name. Okay, so these two values will be coming from the backend, right? So I have saved it here. Let us check what happened in the front end. So I'll refresh the page once. Let me check this control register as boom. we have the values super admin and admin got bind to this control. So when I take you to the mongoose collection, the roles collection has two values. One is super admin and the other one is admin. So we are binding this role name that we return the each function, right? So this is what we are binding it here. And the ID is nothing but this MongoDB ID that it generates when it creates a record in the mongoose collection. So when I go to register, when I inspect element, you will have two things. One is value field and the text field. So value is going to hold this value. You can see the IDs are same, right? And the role name is going to be super admin, which is nothing but this field. Okay, and admin, if you check, you see admin, the IDs are same and the role name is admin, right? So guys, I think this video helped you in understanding how to call the backend API and also set the data to the drop down control. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. So we will see with another interesting topic in the next video. Until then, keep supporting me guys. Please subscribe my channel, and if you liked it really, please like this video. Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.